Good morning.
Good
Welcome
morning.
back to Grandad's Garage. So this is part 2 of the Rover SD1 1981, and it's today is actually blowing cold. We're pretty much going to do a bunch of discovery on the engine, which you'll see. If you haven't seen part 1 of this video, which is where we sort of reveal it, then if you look at watching on YouTube, it's in the description, which is probably under the sump somewhere. And if you're on Facebook looking at the edited version, it's in the attic. So there we go. So what we're going to do today is have a look inside the pots, clean up the carburetors, hopefully, cross fingers, turn the engine over manually, and well, we'll see where we get. I'm going to dig a plug spacer. You reckon there's one here?
Try those.
There's about 3 million things balanced on it.
Can I start pulling the...
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Karl's pulling the plug caps off with a pair of pliers. Panic ye not. What we found was every bit of rubber on this car that's attached to something else is like welded on, because it's been there for 25 years. So all he's doing is just twisting them to break the seal, and then they come off quite nicely. But it does look a bit destructive. It isn't.
No, one small 5/8.
Right, okay, so the chilly version in the cold weather. Oh. Come, sir.
Could be.
What's the bacon at?
No.
Too big, too small, wrong shape?
Too big.
Too big?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
That's it's a 5/8 one.
So what's that?
7/8.
7/16.
Sorry.
7/16 is too small.
Too big. Oh, 7/16. You got one?
Yeah, it's this one.
No, that's no.
7/16 Whitworth.
Well, Whitworth. Yeah.
Oh, come on, you're talking about
There you go.
96-year-old engineer.
There
I mean,
you
it's
go.
got
That's the problem.
96-year-old tools.
Completely wrong.
Right. He will have had these plugs out. I know that.
These look quite new plugs.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
new
new in there.
42 years ago.
yeah, they were quite new.
They were new when they were put in.
Yeah.
We've got the rest of them out. Let's. Oh, that's not bad. Come on. Yeah.
Here we go.
Fair bit of force. Yeah. Just watch your hands on that airbox, because
Razor sharp.
yeah, like I was saying, everything under the bonnet is sharp for some unknown reason. Never heard of chamfers or safe edges.
Badge of honour.
Or I'll tell you what the worst is: tie wraps. The snipped end of tie.
snipped ends.
Oh, they're horrible. Right, so let's see what numero 60 is like. See my Italian.
6, your time is up.
Yeah, here we go. Right, let's
There
have a
you
look
go,
at that.
Andrew.
Let's get the light. Get it in the light.
Right.
Yeah, it's not too bad. A little bit of rust.
Oh, fairly low.
Yeah, I think he started it for my son Callum just for a few seconds, just to prove it worked. And obviously, it's going to be on choke.
Yep.
So, you know, it's there we go. Right, so let's have a look at all 6. Let's try and focus on all 6. So they're all kind of much the same, really. Oily. Yeah, we'll clean those and re-gap them. 25 thou gap, good old. Every spark plug I've ever known is 25 thou.
Fag packet.
Yeah.
I think it's a fag packet.
Yeah, cigarette packet for those of you in America. It has a different meaning over there.
Yeah. It's a different meaning over here now.
It does. Right, so what I'll do, get the endoscope plugged onto the phone here, and then go delving inside, see what we can see.
Right, let's go endoscoping into number 1. There's the exhaust valve, and what we tend to see in all of them actually is a bit of light surface rust. Obviously the car wasn't parked with non-oxidizing oil in it. So it's just whatever damp atmosphere was in there. Number 2, bit of a lump of crust on there. Number 3, when we can find the hole, and what we can see down on the piston, we actually see a bit of reflection on the side of the cylinder wall, which is pretty good. So number 4, and we're starting to see honing marks, which is a good sign. Happy with that. Out, and Karl's nose, thank you very much. Number 5, a bit of crust on top of the piston, probably chuck a few lumps of coal out the back when we start it up. And number 6, let's see what we got. Honing marks again, which is good. And yeah, it's not as bad as it could be. I mean, it's not wonderful, but it's been parked for 25 years. There's no water in it. There's no mouse houses in it. It's about as good as it could be.
Better than any old straw.
Got a curly straw.
Got a bendy straw.
Oh man, just what we need.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Hey.
Just need a cherry cocktail.
Ooh,
Right, Karl's putting a judicious squirt of 3-in-1 down each cylinder, so that when we turn it over it isn't completely dry, and if the piston rings are stuck, then hopefully it might free them, or certainly going to help anyway, and we'll try and get it out before we fire it up.
Right. No, it just got a bit of. I think you loosened it last week when you tried to. Oh, it's a metal one.
Yeah.
It doesn't look too bad.
No, it's a bit brown.
Bit brown.
Shall
we endoscope it?
Do you want to endoscope it?
Well, it's a lot less.
You've got a new toy and
I
you
know,
need to
well,
play with it.
Well, you see, what it also is, until we're actually ready to get going, is the risk of breaking the gasket.
Yeah, that's my concern.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Although it was good fun, this wasn't actually very revealing. What I didn't know at the time is just under the inside of the oil filler's a baffle on the lid, and it prevented me getting the camera in further. And also the camera, the sort of fixed bit of the camera is quite long, so I couldn't turn it underneath. But what we do see is nothing too bad actually. Bits of surface rust, muck, and lots of oily bits, which is good.
So next thing, rocker cover. There are a variety of, well, there's at least 2. Yes, I was just going to do that actually. Oh, we'll have to take this bracket off here. Right, we get small sockets. We have.
The screws on either side holding the cover down are M5 Phillips, and although it showed there's some Loctite on them, they weren't held down with any amount of torque. They just came off really easily. However, one of them, which I'll point to in a moment, was like that one. It was like a flat crosshead roofing bolt, which seems rather bizarre. It's been replaced. Okay, that's the bracket holding the cam belt cover. At either end there were studs, hex studs. The one Karl's about to do under the scuttle end was quite well extended. But they all came off quite nicely. There's the old paint roller tray to store everything. High-tech stuff, you know.
Screwdriver under it. There's nothing to get a screwdriver under. No. However.
No. You got that?
Yeah, I've got it.
It's still stuck on something. Oh, it's the gasket.
Oh, we lost it. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Right, ladles and jelly spoons. Let's have a close look. Well, that's the underside. That's a bit oh, that's why I couldn't get in, because of that.
it's
Right, yeah, it's covered, so it's a splash guard.
Baffle on it.
Yeah. So we have. Is it a double? It's not a double. Can't be.
Worm drive for your Dizzy.
Yep. Makes sense.
There's your cam.
Yep.
And that
There doesn't seem to be enough.
What?
Oh no, one's no. One cam does both.
Yes.
Oh, that's almost clever.
Yeah.
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 So one is direct.
Yeah, one's
The
direct.
inlet's direct drive off the cam.
And then there's a finger that runs the exhaust.
Finger of fun.
Andrew.
What we're looking at is, apart from a knackered gasket, which will get scraped off and replaced, big square one, we don't have one here, no. It's clean. And if we look at this one, where my finger is, follow the finger, that's all right, that cam is okay. There is, as you would expect, no wear on that whatsoever. Yeah, that's nice. Smells good too, smells appropriate. So what we got there? We got a bit of rust. No, that isn't rust. Well,
it is a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Oh, sorry, my finger's in the way there. Yeah, that's all right. That.
Okay.
Got a bit of.
Still got a bit of oil in the
Still
top.
got a bit of oil. I'm going to give that a squirt.
Yeah, carriers look good. Look, the carriers are good.
They do. They should be.
Because that all comes off.
Yeah. Oh, does it? Oh, it does. So this.
It's just the residue.
So basically, this guy, help the ignorant. So this casting sits on top of the block.
Yeah.
On top of the cylinder head as an additional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not going to touch that. We ain't going there.
I knew that.
Yeah. So sorry, I just managed to hit pause. So this casting, which is the rocker box cover, carries the cam bearings, and it sits on top of the cylinder head, and you can see the cylinder head bolts down there. So it's actually quite a tall engine, isn't it?
Yeah, deep
and wide. Yeah, no, that's good. Right, so that's going around nicely.
There's the man holding the camera.
Oh, we've got a bit of oil residue just sitting in a little little pocket. That's good on all of them. No, I'm very happy with that. I'm really pleased to see that, because I mean, like the clutch master cylinder, that could have been horrible.
All comes off.
Yeah, it's just gum.
Lobes, it's just look, lobes are coming off.
Yeah,
yeah, it's all good.
No, that's good.
Oh.
Right, well, we'll get some more oil on that. I've got a squirty oil can in the shed, which I'll just fill it with squirty oil. Yeah, it's a brand name, squirty oil.
Squirty oil.
Yes. Yeah, that's all right. That good. Yeah, very very happy with that. I'm sure you are. Yeah. Nice. Right. Okay. Just put you down a second.
Just on.
Okay. So, right, videoing again. Let's clean that up.
Finger on the trigger.
Finger on the trigger. There we go. Let's give it a. Is it easier with the big one or the granddad spanner? Right. So the oil I've got in here is some brand new 10W40. The oil can looks ancient and filthy. It isn't. It's ancient, but isn't that filthy. Just a grubby oil can. So we'll just give everything a bit of a squirt. Just so it's not dry. On both sides of those. I don't imagine imagine much oil will get into these bearings because they'll be internally supplied at the oil galleries.
Yeah.
But, at least it's got a bit, just so as we're not running dry when we start turning it on the starter. It should be adequately, more than adequately. Yeah, that's got plenty. Let's just give that a quick stir on top of them valves. And give some on top of the inlet valves. Right, that should do it. Right, so Karl's cleaned off all the gunky old gasket and wiped some of the oily residue off. There looked like there was some sort of gasket sealant on it. 10 points for anybody who's old enough to know what Hylamar is. Don't think it was because it's not blue. It looked like silicone, but probably isn't. So we're going to put this back now, but we don't want any aluminium to aluminium corrosion. So what I'm going to do is just put some copper slip on the mating surfaces just to keep it happy, shall we say.
As I said, we're just putting a bit of copper slip on each of the mating surfaces. In the absence of a gasket, it's probably, I mean, it's not necessary, but it just gives a little bit of protection. Trying to push the disc down in the tin of grease, like trying to push a tube of set silicone. It was that cold, but yeah, we got there in the end. One thing we're trying to do wherever possible is put screws back so that they don't get lost, dropped into anything, or used in inappropriate places. How many times have we all done something and had a load of screws and washers left over? If nothing else, it's embarrassing, and obviously the paint roller tray comes in quite handy here. Apologies for the rubbish camera angle, don't quite know what happened there. Just put a bit of copper slip on the plug threads and the seat, just so they don't have an opportunity to seize up again. The amount of force that was required to get them out, although it wasn't shown on camera, was almost excessive. But anyway, they're out now, so it's not going to happen again.
Right, so having had the requisite bacon butty, we're back on the job. The next thing we're going to do is clean as best possible the carburetors, and I think the first thing to do is to get the air box off, get that out of the way, and then we can see what we're dealing with.
Right, I'm just about to take the fuel filter off, and oh my god, what a mistake that was. That petrol absolutely stinks. Now, normally petrol, okay, it's got a chemical smell. It's not unpleasant, and it's not good for you, but it's not unpleasant. But geez, this stuff absolutely honks. And the garage was full of the smell of this damn stuff all day. Yeah, will be. Yeah, just can't use it for anything. I mean, whatever's in the tank, and I don't know how much is in the tank. I'm not even sure I'd use it for washing parts, but yeah, nasty, nasty stuff. One thing we'll be very careful about, but it turns out it doesn't actually matter, is the linkages between the two carbs, which are the two rods that you can see between the dash pods. It turns out that they're actually loose and free floating. The clamps that hold the little levers that actuate the throttle or choke, the position of those clamps is really important. But being careful to hold the two carbs together actually turns out not to be. But we don't know this at this point. So we're just going to be, like everything, we're just going to be ultra careful, because although we have some experience, we don't know this car. So yeah, creep and go, I think, is the phrase. The upper inner nut on each side can't be taken off before you loosen it. You can't get it all the way off, so it has to be just sort of slid off a bit, and then you can take that nut off, which is what Karl's doing now. I'm sporting the carbs. Yeah, we had to give it a bit of a whack to free it from the gasket, which of course is sort of welded on, as they all are, and then we find various bits come off all far too easily.
So does that locate the choke cone?
It has.
Oh, so these. Oh, I see. Right. So that those people can see. So that shaft goes into this whatever, and then the plug on the end hooks into this little. Oh, I see.
Yeah, but what we also need to do is that I'll just pop off.
Yeah, these go back. Oh, so also loose. Be careful. That. So that little pin goes on the end of there.
Yeah. So whether you want me to put it onto there.
The likelihood of getting snagged off is probably quite high.
See, that's all it's.
Oh, I see. So just stops it from
Yeah,
coming
right.
back. And we've got clean bit, which is where it's actually on.
Keep there.
Yeah,
So you can
we'll have that clip off.
We can put it.
I'm going to put it here. Right. So effectively the end of today. We've got the carbs off and all the associated bracketry. The pistons are solid. Like I said before, the petrol's turned to varnish. We've got the linkage off, but panic ye not, we're not going to change anything. That is just going to stay as it is, and I'm not changing anything to do with that. All I'm going to do is clean what we can see, get the dash pot off, get the float chamber cover off, and just get it free. One minor trauma. You see that pipe? That shouldn't look like that. I don't think there's one on that side. Oh, yes, there is. It should look like that, and it doesn't. So that is just something else that we're going to have to sort out, but I am fully confident that there is no problem that I can have that somebody hasn't had before me. So let's get that in focus. So that's just a minor pain in the ass, so we'll deal with that. But as you can see, that's all varnished up, and I have to say I'm going to get out of this garage because it stinks. That petrol is vile. So plugged up the inlet manifold, got oil in the clutch master cylinder, and I've had a good old pump at it. It ain't going nowhere. Well, I'll tell you where it is going. That's going in the skip. I'm just going to have to get another one. Okay, so last thing I did on Sunday, didn't do it on camera, was to squirt some carburetor cleaner down the back of the intake, because it was absolutely solid. It would not move. It's now Tuesday evening. We have a bit of movement. Still going to strip the dash pots off and clean it out thoroughly, but we do have movement. Now, the issue I have, okay, rear, front, the issue I have is that on the front one, this pipe has corroded away, and you can see that there, and all its nastiness. That's pretty grim. Now, a lovely chap on the SD1 group on Facebook said if you measure the diameter and length, he will machine up a couple of brass ones for me, which obviously aren't going to corrode like these steel. So I said, right, okay, thank you very much. So I am going to do exactly that. Measure it. So obviously use the good one as an example. So that looks like, actually, to be honest, that is 7.92 millimeters. That's 8mm central heating pipe. And the length, well, that's going to be a little more interesting, because I can't see how far it goes in. Hang on. No, you can't see it. Oh, yes, I can. Let's shove that down there. Now, you won't be able to see this on camera, but what I'm looking for is the end of my vernier poking out of the, getting level with the end of the pipe. And it doesn't, as long as it doesn't, let's see if I can get some better light on this for you. I'll get in a better position. Right, hang on. Let's get that light. So, let's get you a bit closer. Right, okay, so you can see that. Right, okay, so this is going to be a bit of juggling. Right, okay, so if I open the butterfly valve, see that hole down there? I'm just obscuring it now. The vent pipe is in that hole. You may be able to see it or not. Can you just see the end of that pipe? Yep. So as long as it doesn't poke into, oh sorry, bit of a pop there. So as long as it doesn't poke into the venturi, then it can be as long as it wants to be. Right, so if I now measure that, just spring on this. Right. Now, I have found out that this is a HS6 carburetor. Thanks to the SU website. Right, so that's going to be a fairly sensible length. 31.5 millimeters. Somebody said to get the old pipe out, you could use a tap, a threaded tap, to remove metal, and it might just crumble away. It's worth a try. I'll give it a try. Otherwise, I'm drilling it out. It's M8. It's an M8 press fit. So right. So that's that. I've got. I'll give it another squirt. Actually, is there any around the back? Yes, there is. So I'll just pop that back on the rocker cover because that's where they were. Oh God, the carburetor cleaner stinks. It's horrible. Right, so we'll put that on top just to stop anything unpleasant getting in. We were wondering where the clutch fluid had gone. I found it. There it is. That's not nice. Well, those tools are never ever going to rust, are they? So that's where the clutch fluid went.